everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. We're out for our first episode of winter junkyarding. Let's see what we can find. Here we've got a pair of very rotten, they're late 70s Ford pickups. This one has got a 351 modified or a 400, whatever it is. Got classic, an old Motomaster ignition box. Unfortunately, they are so rotten that they haven't put them up on stands. So there's limited stuff you can get off these. Let's see what trying to read the axle code on this tag. Give me a sec. Can't read the axle code. The tag is in bad shape. You can see here it's got 3 pedals. It's got a 435 transmission. The transfer case, you can just see the bottom there. It's probably a, let me see the hub here. Okay, it's got lockout hubs, so I guess it's a 205 or a 208. I'm not sure what they put in these things. 9-inch rear end in it. I can't tell what case it is. And beside it is this one. It's a 2-wheel drive half-ton. It's got a Windsor motor in it, a 302. By the look of the skinny intake manifold. This one's an automatic. Looks like the raccoons have been in here at the seats. It's also got a 9-inch in it. With who knows what gear ratio. Unfortunately, like I said, when they're sitting on the ground here, I'm almost willing to bet this one's got a 31 spline track lock in it, but you know, you'd have to get it out of there is the problem. So we got the tag off of this thing, and it may not be easy to read, but on the end here where it broke, there's a 3 missing. So the code is 3L50. So what that means, it's a 350 gear, and the L means limited slip. So that is exactly what we're looking for. And if you, there's the actual axle code up on the top here, WFE/F, and I've already looked that up, and that does confirm it's a 350 track lock, 31 spline. So now, because this thing's sitting flat in the ground, we're going to have a little fun getting it out, but it shouldn't be too much difficulty. First thing we're going to do is get these U-bolts undone. We'll be doing that Armstrong way. First, we're going to spray them with PB Blaster and let them soak. And then we got a Johnson bar and a long ratchet, and we'll just start turning them. Once we've got all the nuts off, then we're going to get in there and cut the shock absorbers. And I got to cut the parking brake cables, and then they've got an A-frame here with a chain fall on it. We'll wrap it around and just lift the back of the truck up a little bit so we can drag the axle out sideways. Hopefully the drive shaft will come apart when we do that. We're going to have to cross that bridge when we get to it, or I may be able to actually reach underneath there and cut it. We'll see. Turns out the easiest thing to do with the U-bolts was to just cut them. The Sawzall made pretty short work of them. And I didn't even cut most of them right through. I just cut them about halfway and then put the Johnson bar and twist them off. So, both shocks are free from the chassis. The drive shaft they fold it in half with the loader, and the slip spline came apart. So the drive shaft we don't have to worry about. All that's left is the parking brake cables. And this Chevrolet engine that has fallen through the bed and is sitting on top of the rear end. But when we get the crane over here, we'll just stick something through there and lift this thing out of here. Okay, we got the crane. We got it hooked to the old Chevrolet engine there, and we should be able to just pull this thing up. See, look at the nice wheels on their crane, not like that piece of shit in Newmarket. Well, the Chevy engine is out, and there's our 9-inch rear end right down there. Whew. That was a lot of work, left me out of breath, but you can see we've won the lottery here. It's an end case, nodular iron. This is the toughest 9-inch ever made. These things were so tough, they discontinued the 9 3/8 that I've told you about when this thing came along. Wow, that's fantastic. So now we're going to, first I'm going to see if I can get this drive shaft off. Then we're going to get it up on a couple of these little stands here and get it all apart, because all we want is that. So there we are. We got the brakes and the axle stripped off of it. It's always fun getting the drums off of these Fords because they fit so tight over the register on the axle. But once you've taken 1,000,000 of them off, you kind of get the hang of it, how to do it. And then we're not out of the woods until we get all these off. And more often than not, you're going to find nuts like this. So almost all of them came off. They were fine with the normal 9/16 socket. But this guy here, lucky I was able to hammer a 14mm onto it, and it came out. Now the next thing you're going to go up against, taking these apart in the junkyard, you see these copper washers? They're kind of loose on there, but they're literally, they get smunched down into the threads, and they can be a bugger. You got to pick these all off or you'll never get the chunk out. So what I do if I'm at the junkyard, I'm not using this housing again. Nobody will, right? So I just get a punch and I punch all the studs into the housing. It makes short work of these seal washers, and it makes it easy to get the pumpkin out. There she is, out. An easy way to always tell a track lock. You see how the bolts are in kind of a bit of a counterbore there, like half shrouded, right? Only track locks are like that. On the one wheel peel carrier, it's completely flat there, and the bolt head is just like on the flat surface of it like that. That's how you can always tell a track lock, just by looking at it. Now, at least this one's got wheels on it, so I'm going to see if I can crawl underneath and get the tag off of this one and see what the heck it is. Okay, the tag is gone from the rear end, but you can see here the axle code is looks like 13. Might be 13X. Anyway, I can't even start to take this out now, even if it was something good, because I gotta charge all my batteries up. But that's okay. Tomorrow's another day. I'm gonna go home and I'll look up. Usually with these Ford axles, a number signifies a one-wheel pillar, and a letter says track lock. So let's see if we can read the axle code on this one. Come on, focus. Just unreadable. Oh. Now let's see if we find anything interesting in this place. Got a neon here. 2nd gen neon. It's just a run of the mill. Ooh, look at that. Is that something I can eat? Nah, it's Kleenex. I thought it was a granola bar or something. This thing is nice. It's actually really nice inside. Wonder why it's in a junkyard. That's got a little puppy dog. I'll grab that for Deb. Yeah, pretty decent car. It's not all rotten like they normally are. Strange. Oh, there's all that's left of the old 69 Lincoln, the hood. Look at this monster. That's like 1-inch cable. It's nice soft cable too, not the kind that kinks easy, you know. It's got an eye on one end and a big snap hook on the other. Wow, I bet you that belongs to one of the machines in here. They're probably looking for it. There's a fresh row of trucks here. We'll check them out, see what we find. Right off the bat, we got a late 3rd gen Ram here. So this could have what I'm looking for. Oh, look at that. It's got a nice toolbox. Oh, an entertainment unit in the back. Look at that. Half a jug of dirty motor oil. Wow. Never know what you'll find in here. Yeah. So the flip out shelf in here, it doesn't look like it ever had it. But gone or non-existent, whatever you want to call it. Nice pair of clip-on sunglasses. Well, this one had infinity. Oh, look, a business console. Man, guys used to go crazy for these and literally pay anything to get them. Now, they're just sitting in the junkyard. Nothing in there. Guess she had tow mirrors because she doesn't have mirrors now. Look at the bumper on this whole GMC. Holy moly. Even rotted out with holes in it. It probably is pretty formidable. Wow, 3/4 ton. Diesel. Old 6.2, normally aspirated, I would guess. She was a stick shift too. Look at that. Transmission's gone. Pedals are still in it. They're kind of the right shape, like what I need for the Ford. I might have a look after how they come off. One thing at a time. A lot of nice lumber in the back of it too. It's kind of an oddball thing that you don't see, and I'm glad they thought better of it and stopped making trucks like this. It's an FX4 Ford. General Motors made trucks similar with the big extended cab, but with these goofy little step-side boxes. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. I guess the people that love them, but I think they're the goofiest looking thing I ever saw in my life. Yeah, it doesn't look right from any angle. My opinion, of course, your mileage may vary. Wow, here's the first 4th gen crew cab I found in a yard. I found lots of quad cabs, but I haven't found any crew cabs. And it looks like they didn't mess around getting at it when it came in here, did they? Wow. That was a pretty nice truck. Here's another 3rd gen. Let's see if it's got the thing in the back. Yeah, and as usual, it's the metal one. Yeah, that's no good for nothing. Cloth. Yeah, nothing too exciting here. Bumper smashed. There's a Corvette over there in the pound. I don't know. It looks like it's just the body. I don't see a frame. Here's an old ice racer or rally car or something. So I think it's a Nissan Pulsar? Yeah, Nissan Pulsar. Judging by the big mud flaps, I'd say it was a rally car. And see here, they've got stowage for their stuff. Pretty cool. It's got an inspection tag on the cage. Right on. Here's our mission today. This is an old Ontario Provincial Police highway car. And we want to get, it's got from about here back, really nice H-pipe dual exhaust. I'm just having a look underneath to make sure that those wheels that they've got the car sitting on haven't squashed either tailpipe. It looks like this one's okay. You can see it there jiggling, so nothing's sitting on it. Let's check the other one. Yeah, we're good. So what we got to do, it's welded from the front to the back. So what we got to do is drop the rear end out of the car, and then we can drop the exhaust down in one piece. That's the easiest way to do it. Should be pretty straightforward. First, we'll start with getting these wheels off and get the saw ready. We got some control arms and a drive shaft and stuff to cut. Well, that's something. Haven't touched the saw once. Everything on this side just came out with hand tools. Look at how clean the bolts are. Look. Wow. Unbelievable. There's still nice black paint on the frame. That's really something. But she's pretty rotten. I mean, look at the bottom of the body. Weird, eh? But, hey, no worries. We'll get to work on the other side. This has got a Watts linkage in it, eh? That's pretty cool. That would be a nice handling car with that. We got the rear end out. Now, while I work on dropping the exhaust down, I'm going to flip this thing over. I want the sway bar off of it. So I'm going to flip it over and put some PB Blaster on the bolts while we work on the exhaust. The hardware for the sway bar came right out. That's awesome. This is not for a project car, but it's just something I want to have for a little experiment I want to do. I've already got one, so if I bend it up and it doesn't work, now I've got a spare. They sell them cheap enough, so. All right, let's get this exhaust system out from underneath the car. It came down beautifully. I got all the hangers, even the static straps off the back of it. Wow. I'm pretty sure this should work well for what we're going to do. The 60s Fords are set up very similar to this, with a full perimeter frame and the fuel tank standing upright in just behind the rear axle. The only difference is this one had a Watts linkage, and ours, of course, has a track bar. So I may have to, I think the end of the track bar is on this side. We may have to dink around with this tailpipe a little bit to get it on, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Another day at the Wreckers, another great picnic lunch from Deb. These are exciting times. They've pressed the first row of trucks along the fence here. That means before long, there's going to be a whole new row of trucks all filled up for us to come and ravage. You can see all the way down there, that white Chev cab. That's pretty cool. It's got an old 6.2 naturally aspirated diesel in it. You could probably go back there with a battery and start the thing up. They were awesome. Lots of trucks in this one. All right, there we are. Safe and sound at home. We'll find out if this will work. Who knows? It's worth a try for what it costs. $54 plus tax. These mufflers are quite interesting. I kind of like them. And it's good. See, we got all the hangers and stuff. I don't know if we'll be able to use them, but it's the same price whether you take them or not, so take them. I was lying in bed where I do my best thinking, and I said to myself, hey, I bet you that Ranchero has the big front sway bar like those T-Birds have. And, yep, so I had to come back. I'm here for something else anyway, so I thought, I'll check it out. And yes, it's got the big fat sway bar. So this is a 1 inch or 1 1/16 sway bar. We'll measure it when we get it home. And it's basically a direct bolt-on replacement for the 3/4 inch sway bar that's in full-size Ford and Mercury cars from like 65 up. It's rather than spending a whole bunch of your cake on a you know, an aftermarket setup. Now you can get really big ones there, but hey, this, for what it costs to grab one of these things at Pick and Pull, it's a pretty economical way to get a fatter sway bar on your old car. And on top of that, I've been grabbing rear ones off the P71 Crown Vic police cars, because I think we can easily adapt that to our cars. But you don't really want to start putting a rear sway bar on. It's usually a better idea, upgrade the front one first and then add the rear one. That's what people do anyway. So let's get this thing out of here. It's pretty simple. There's just 2 self-tappers up into the frame and saw off the end links and it'll come right out. Got it. That wasn't too bad. This here is also off of these cars. This is a good disc brake swap for those older Galaxies and stuff too. I've already got a set of them and it doesn't look like it would be much fun getting these ones off. Although if I was so inclined, I could probably do it. But we'll just leave them here for now. We had one exactly like this, brand new. It was a nice little truck, had the V8 in it. We could pull trailers and stuff with it, and it was pretty decent in the snow too. Maybe this is it, who knows. I can't remember if ours had chrome bumpers or red bumpers. Might even had black bumpers. It was a long time ago. 2004 is 20 years ago, eh? Here's a cool thing, a rear inner wheel well liner for a 3rd gen Ram. You do not find these things, but unfortunately there's only one. I've been looking everywhere around here for the other one, because if you have a pair of them, they're $300 or $400 guys will pay for them, but the other one doesn't seem to be around here anywhere. Oh well, what are you going to do? I put 4th gen ones in mine anyway. Way easier. Well, here we are. I'm still working on my junkyard video, man. We started this video months ago. We've gone all the way through the winter, and now it's the spring. I've got enough footage. We're going to finish it off today. I got to go in here and get some parts for Project 8 Ball. So today, just because it's almost 11:30 in the morning, we're starting with Deb's beautiful picnic lunch before we go in. And she's actually just around the corner at her sister's place. That works out pretty good. I drop her off there, they do stuff, and I come here and play. We're back at this great big 78 Ford. I wanted to look at the drive shaft because, as we mentioned before on Project 8 Ball, we need to probably shorten the drive shaft to use the C6 transmission. And the problem is, it's a fat tube and it necks down right at the end, so you can't just cut it and shove the yoke forward. But you see this one out of this, it's the same length all the way down. And I believe, let's measure, it's got the, yeah, it's got the big U-joints in it, so it's going to be hard to break it. So that's good. This is a much better, and it's got a C6 yoke on it. Because this thing's got an FMX transmission in it, and FMX and the C6 use the same yoke. I believe. It sure looks like a C6 yoke. We'll find out when we get home. So anyway, this is blah, blah, blah. This is a much better candidate for shortening. We also got from this thing a kick-down rod, because ours is missing, a battery hold-down clamp, and the rear axle bumpers. What we're going to do now is try to get the dipstick tube out of this old 302. I know what you're thinking. Good luck with that. So, our 351, we're changing from a center sump to a front sump. So, we need a dipstick and a tube. All we can do is try to get it out. And otherwise, I've measured it. I know it's 11 inches tall. So, worst case, we'll just grab a piece of tube and make one. But hey, if we can get this one out, we'll get this one out. Well, so much for that. I had to chisel it off, but I chisel it off right at the cover. So what we'll do is our timing cover on our truck, I'll drill and tap it for like a 1/4 or 1/8 pipe, and we'll put a compression fitting in there, and we'll just put this on with compression fitting. No problem at all. How about that? A 4th gen 2500 in the boneyard. Wow. Whew. Never thought I'd see that, at least in the near future. 6.4 Hemi. Transmission's gone, transfer case gone. Look at how heavy this stuff is in the front. All the problems they had over the years with the 3rd gens, with the death wobble and this, that, and the other thing. Look at how massive, heavy duty this stuff is. Holy Toledo. This makes my 3rd gen 1 ton Look like a toy. What a monster, eh? Wow, it's the 6-bolt steering box is still in it. That's a beautiful upgrade on a 3rd gen, at least according to all the 3rd gen guys. Look at the size of the spline on the pitman arm. That's a monster. Wow, big huge sway bar. The size of the brakes. Jeez. Inside. They've been picking at it, but there's still lots there. 8-foot box. Wow. It's got the cubbies in the floor still. Here, you want some money? Jeez. It's tailgate. Yeah, well. Still lots of good stuff on it. The clearance lights are still on the roof, I think. Yeah, clearance lights are still there. Wow. Unreal. Okay, now what we got to do, I got to quit screwing around. I got to find a 3rd gen like that one there, and we got to get the tie-down cleats out of the back of it. Here's the loot we got today for Project 8-Ball. This drive shaft, a couple of different engine and transmission dipsticks. We got I'm hoping this is the right switch for the brake warning light. We got this. This is the circuit breaker and the big lead that goes into the car for power windows. Very good to have. Here's the U-bolts. We got a battery hold down. We got a kick down rod. This is off a 351 modified with an FMX, but it's a kick down rod. We'll work with it. We'll make it work for our combination. We got the three, let me see what compression is. Rebound. No, jounce. These are the 3 jounce bumpers for the rear axle. And we got some Ford specific wiring bits that we've also been looking for. These molded plugs that the old Fords use, and because we're going to be switching to the under the car neutral safety switch on the big Ford, we need one of these 4-way rubber plugs, so we got a couple there to work with. And we got our 4 little tie-down cleats for the back of the 76 D100, and I just happened to look in the trunk of a car, and this is a K&N drop-in air filter for a 318. That's okay, because we have a 318 air cleaner on our 71 Valiant, because remember, we switched that to a 2-barrel. So all in all, it was a good day at the Wreckers. That'll close this one out. I've been working on it for a few months, but it's just there's been a long time since the last time I went to the Wreckers, and well, today was a good day to go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll come with us to the Wreckers again. And until then, I'm Kevin saying so long from the Claremont Classic Garage.